Hey, how's everybody doing? It's Devon again. I just wanted to welcome you guys again to yet another video where I just wanted to go over more of the love principle. Now, I just wanted to talk about why is everybody so afraid of love? I mean, in today's society, everyone's playing the game of heartbreak, if you haven't noticed, where the one who comes out on top, the victor, is the one who's in complete control of the relationship and successfully leading the other party on before completely disassociating with that person when feelings become involved. So I just wanted to, dive deep into some of my thoughts regarding that. Like, what is the cause of this new epidemic? I mean, it seems we're just taking a dramatic shift away from the tradition of genuinely caring for people enough to not find ways to consume them. Jeez. To not find ways to consume them, just based on selfish motives to propel oneself to a perceived heightened platform or, a boosted level of ego. Why? Essentially, why? Why do we do this? Let's take a step back and, just look deep into the dark side of the human mind to find and to just pretty much navigate through the psychology of the average dater's mind and how it currently operates on today's dating scene. So, some of my thoughts are that nobody wants to fall in love with someone and just deal with the nightmare of finding somebody or, finding somebody out there that they think or feel is going to be better for them than who they currently have as their mate. It's pretty much a nightmare. It's, what we're constantly thinking about. And I feel that comes from, it's the ugly truth. It all comes from this new generation where bigger and more is better, where one-upmanship is at its all-time high, where we're constantly looking for ways to have the newest yada yada X, Y, and Z, the newest car, the newest clothes, the freshest haircut. I can't say so much about that. You know, whatever the newest clothes are, whatever the newest trend is, I'm doing it first and I'm doing it better than everybody else. And whatever the newest trend is, I have to hop on that immediately. I think that it comes from that whole way of thinking, which is part of this new microwave generation that we call it, where instant gratification is just at its forefront. So I feel that plays a significant part as to why a lot of people have those commitment issues. Secondly, love, as we all know it, sadly, is considered a vulnerability. Why? Let me, discuss a little bit about some of my thoughts as to why. Unfortunately, it's just a grave misunderstanding becoming an unconscious behavior pattern. It's becoming an unconscious behavior pattern in today's society where you're perceived as strong by not giving in to, by not demonstrating or saying that you love somebody. Unfortunately, it's pretty much corrupted the dating scene. Nobody wants to say it. Everybody wants to be to themselves. Everybody wants to shallow date, which is understandable to some degree. I mean, nobody wants to just walk around saying I love you when it's supposed to mean something. But in today's society, it's virtually not impossible to find, but it's becoming more and more scarce to find genuine and authentic love because everybody is keeping it, like I said, very shallow and preventing themselves from committing and becoming attached to someone in fear of heartbreak. We're afraid of being taken advantage of, which is completely understandable. We don't want to give up our most precious and generous gift, our love, and have it be abused or unappreciated. We want to therefore hold on to it. We want to hoard it, get people to back up off of our love instead of giving it freely. In time, we all know what the side effects are. We become lonely, inwardly resentful because we know that it's the wrong thing to do, and we begin to think about ourselves as, think of negative thoughts towards our attitude because we know that it's wrong. And, this pattern just becomes recycled, and we become more and more numb to the concept of giving love. We end up failing to realize that love is eternal. Love is eternal. And as we are sources of love, we have the infinite capacity to generate love spontaneously without any limits. This is overlooked as, we're consumed by our fear of giving love. We begin to treat ourselves as if we have this limited supply of love and that it will run out if we give it to too many people, or that it would be impossible to recover from, any event in which our love was neglected or we feel that it was abused. Which is, it's very unfortunate. It's sad because, like I said, there's no limit to the amount of love that we can give. We can continue to give regardless of what we've been through. We can continue to find it within ourselves to generate more love. You understand? It's kind of like the way that the earth continues to recycle all of the elements, every single atom. And like they say, matter is neither created nor destroyed. Like, we can never destroy what we already have within ourselves. All we can do is have the false perception that it was taken from us, or that it was that it was abused or neglected. But this is all a part of the thought process. It's all choice. Once we realize that our perception is our choice, we can truly become empowered to make the most absolute positive decisions throughout our lives that are going to benefit us to the maximum capacity. So, like I was saying, we can generate love spontaneously without limits. Another characteristic of love is just that it's healing. Therefore, regardless of, how grave the incident or how intense the situation is, we can always recover and continue to produce love. The mission is to not allow ourselves to be fooled by our external conditions. I mean, it's to know that we are just truly invincible with the armor of love cloaking us at all times. You can love, you can be heartbroken, and you could still love again without looking for ways to sabotage new relationships. I've come across plenty of women, and I'm sure there's men out there that are the same way, women that I've dated that have just this false sense of empowerment that they gain from leading men on just to ultimately reject them. Like, they get some sort of high off of it, like some sort of inward satisfaction from it. Because, like I said earlier, it boosts their ego. It helps to fill some type of void, emotional void that they're experiencing because probably rejection themselves or anything that's going on in their lives. Or, hey, you can even entertain the fact that maybe they just thought that it wouldn't be a good match. But it happens all too frequently that we're noticing in society today, that we know that it's not just that. There's something else behind it. There's always something emotional. There's always an emotion behind every action. There's always a thought behind every action. There's always a reason. There's always a purpose for everything in life. Nobody can say, that's why I'm not a fan of people that just say, I have a preference. There's always a reason why you prefer one or the other. There's just the lack of motivation in describing or going into detail and in depth as to why you prefer one or the other. There's no such thing as I have a preference without a reason or a motive. So, like I was saying, unfortunately, a lot of people are on the dating scene, and they want to lead people on. And it's sad because there's no formula that can guarantee you the perfect partner. You know, maybe the thoughts are, I can just keep passing up all these people and I'll end up finding the right one. That's a whole nother discussion about finding the right one. How can there ever be a right one when you're always going to find conflict regardless of who it is you speak to? As you notice, you love your mom, you love your dad, you love your brother, you love everyone in your family, you love, or maybe you don't. But what we all can agree on is that any person that you've ever met in your life, you've always had at one point a conflict with them. Therefore, how can you ever meet a perfect partner, a perfect mate? You're always going to end up having some sort of conflict with them. I've had it with my mom, I've had it with my brother. A conflict, I'm not talking about any old conflict, I'm talking about a conflict that, like, you literally thought that it would, like, tear apart your relationship with that person for good. So what I believe in is that I don't believe that there's a perfect partner. I believe that there are people out there that are willing to change, that are willing to adapt. There are people that are willing to adapt, and there are people that aren't willing to adapt. Right? There's no perfect person. We're all imperfect, which is why it's so hard when it comes to dating. There are people that are ready and willing to adapt, and there are people that are not so much. So, you know, people that continue to do this, that continue to hurt people intentionally, leading them on, knowing that their motives are to just lead them on and to, lead them to dry, once they get feelings for them, and then just continue to do that, throughout their entire dating career, is just saturating the pool. It's just saturating the dating pool with more people that are hurt. And we know what happens when people get hurt, right? Like I was saying earlier, we're all imperfect. So it's typical for people who are hurt to have the inclination to hurt other people as a response in order to fill that void of hurt that they're experiencing. Why we do that? It's a human thing. We're all imperfect. It's very stupid to do, to hurt somebody because you were hurt when that somebody that you just met has nothing to do with the reason that you were hurt. Imperfection at its finest. We're perfectly imperfect as humans. But there's no excuse to just run around going, okay, since I'm so imperfect, let me just do whatever it is that I want to do imperfectly. That ends up screwing up society badly. So, as an adult, there's no excuse. We should be making the more responsible decision, which is to understand that that is a self-perpetuating cycle. We're only going to hurt more people and create an incredible volume of people out there that are just looking for ways to hurt other people. So by creating more people on the dating scene that are hurt, you're making it harder on yourself, because you're going to be out there looking for a partner that's not going to hurt you, right? But you just created about 12 more, and they're going to go do the same thing to females, or vice versa, and then they're going to do that to the opposite sex, and then the pool just continues to expand and expand, and you never know. The next person that you might meet, that you might think that is the perfect one for you, might have been somebody that got hurt by somebody. Trace it all back to you. Scary thought, but a very true statement. So it is possible to heal. We are never victims unless we choose to adopt the victim mentality. Then, like I said, by law, as a man thinketh, so is he. So, like I said, it's all decision. It's all mental choice. It's all psychology. We become exactly what it is that we think. So if you think you're damaged unless you choose to be happy and healthy today. Choose love. You got to understand that you are a source of love, an infinite source of love. And it's your responsibility to be true to yourself. It's your responsibility to be true to yourself and to never waver from that stance. So I just wanted to leave you guys with those thoughts. This is Devon once again, and I'm here to tell you that I love every last one of you. And though I don't even know you, I mean, do you already see the power behind that? You feel the initial resistance behind that, but it's immediately followed by liberation. That's the power of the love principle. So once more, I just wanted to say I love each and every one of you, and take care. Oh, please make sure that you subscribe and make any comments. If you have any thoughts, you want to generate any type of discussion, leave that below. Once again, thank you for listening, and take care.